Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a movie review. This movie is a horror anthology from the United States, English language, released in the year 2015, directed by Roxanne Benjamin, David Bruckner, Peter Horvath and Radio Silence, and this film is called Southbound. So Southbound consists of 5 tales, and they're all connected to this lonely stretch of highway that, trust me, you don't want to be stuck on because it will bring your nightmares to reality. So the first story is about 2 men who are on the run. They come by this cafe, they go into the cafe, they come back, they take off, and they realise that they're going by this same cafe over and over again. So something very strange is going on that's ultimately putting their lives in grave danger. The second story is about a trio of female band members. They have a flat tyre, so they're trying to wait for someone to pass on the highway, and fortunately for them, an odd couple come by and they take them back to their house, and this is where strange things start to happen. The third story is about a man who accidentally runs over a woman, and so he takes her to this secluded town that appears to be empty. So he goes into the hospital's deserted, so it dawns on him in order to save her life he's going to have to take matters into his own hands. The fourth story is about a man who believes his sister has been kidnapped and is residing in this very mysterious town. And then the last story, to cap it all off, is about a family of 3 who are terrorised by a group of masked men. So all stories are going to basically wind down into a nightmarish sort of hellish pit that I'm not going to give away. So if you want to know how the movie unfolds, please go out there and see it for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going. My synopsis. Now my thoughts on Southbound. Southbound does everything that made Trick or Treat great. Now, Trick or Treat was one of the best horror anthologies in a very long time because it actually felt like it was taking place in a single world. It didn't feel like a collection of random stories that just didn't feel like they were there for any particular reason. Case in point, Holidays and Tales of Halloween. I thought they were bitterly disappointing because they didn't actually understand what it is to be an anthology. But the reason why Trick or Treat works so well, and ultimately why Southbound works so well, is because it's taking basically different perspectives of the same universe. So although you're watching 5 separate tales and they're short tales, they still feel like they don't need to be expanded into a feature film of its own because it already feels like it's a feature film. So you don't feel like any story really hasn't exhausted all of its possibilities. And so after one story finishes, you get elements of the previous story into the actual story that you're watching now, so it doesn't feel like separate sort of universes, separate sort of occasions. It just feels like 5 separate perspectives of this lonely stretch of highway that also symbolises something so much more than just a highway. And that's what I loved about it, is that the movie is very entertaining, it's mindless fun, but at the same time you've got a creepiness to it, and at the same time you've got a symbolisation to it. Is that why are these characters on this highway? Why does this highway appear to be so surreal? And it makes you think, because you think it's symbolising something in these people's lives that is very broken. So I love that aspect, and I thought the overall highway ties in the film very well, in that I thought this movie was extremely creepy. It's a great atmosphere. It reminded me of David Lynch films. It reminded me episodes from Twilight Zone. Just a very surreal and almost nightmarish quality that the movie has that makes you feel very uneasy. And so there's got great gore, which will please a lot of gore hounds, and it's everything that you want to make a very entertaining film, but it's got the creepiness that will apply to old school horror fans, and there's got enough to apply to modern horror fans. So there's got a bit in it for everybody. If you like your atmosphere, it's got atmosphere. If you like your violence, it's got violence. And all in all, it's just a very fun film. The only problem I have with it was that although it does have a little bit of depth to the highway, it is your standard sort of fun horror film instead of something that's going to be absolutely soul-crushing. It's a movie that has a little bit of dark humour thrown in there. I thought there were some moments that made me giggle, but ultimately, yeah, it is a very fun film, but it just doesn't have the depth to make it an absolute masterpiece. But as far as horror anthology is concerned, this is definitely one that you need to check out. I thought each and every story was great, and there was no story that really outshined the other one. There was no story that bogged the other ones down. If I had to pick a favourite story, I would say the one where the guy's trying to find his sister was my favourite, but having said that, the other the other segments were very close behind that one. So it's one of the rare occasions where you just got a horror anthology that really understands what it is to be a horror anthology. It's the perfect film to go and watch with a group of friends on a Friday night. It just has that element about it where you're just having a lot of fun, and it makes you want to go back and watch it again, because the way that the film finishes, it ties up and it actually links up to the start. So it feels like it's a continuous loop, and you can go back and you can watch it again. And if a film has replay value, that's a sign of a film that's very well done. So if you like horror anthologies and you're a little bit disheartened with the recent anthologies that have come out, Southbound is definitely one that's going to apply to you. It's very creepy, very violent, and overall just a hell of a lot of fun. So overall, for Southbound, I'm going to give it 4 stars. Go out there and see it. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. The next thing you watch your movies, and I'll see you later.